ICE is defending its actions over a cell phone video that shows a federal agent smashing the car window of an undocumented Guatemalan man as he waited for his lawyer to arrive. Juan Francisco Mendez was pulled over by ICE officials in Massachusetts Monday. The Associated Press spoke to his wife, who was in the car at the time he was detained. Listen.
Ellos insistían en que nos bajáramos del auto, pero no bajamos porque ya la abogada nos había dicho. Y nosotros le dije, nosotros no vamos a dar nuestros datos. Nosotros tenemos derecho de permanecer callados, sin que vamos a bajar del carro cuando nuestra abogada esté presente. Y eso le dije a la gente, cuando llegue la abogada vamos a bajar, pero ahora no. Y insistía, entonces ese momento dijeron que, como que trataron la manera, le dijeron en otra palabra, pero yo lo entiendo así, de que se bajan a las buenas o se bajan a las malas.
Ah, bueno, que lo hagan, que lo hagan.
Sentí miedo, sí me dio miedo, pero yo traté de no demostrar ese miedo ante ellos. Solo espero que lo dejen en libertad a mi esposo para que él pueda venir con nosotros y que mi hijo pueda estar con él también. Nosotros venimos a trabajar honradamente, luchar por nuestra familia y lo que hicieron o lo que están haciendo en este momento no es justo. No nos merecemos esos tratos que ellos nos están haciendo a nosotros.
CNN has reached out directly to ICE for a statement, but it has not responded. For more on all of this, we're joined by CNN's Priscilla Alvarez. She's here with us in the Situation Room. Priscilla, so we reached out, we tried to get a statement, but they did issue a statement, but they're not responding directly to CNN.
But they did issue a statement, and they said that the actions of the officers in that video that you just watched were, quote, deemed appropriate by the officers on the scene, going on to say that those officers are trained, quote, to use the minimum amount of force necessary to resolve a situation. They also provide a little more background as to the man that they took into custody, Juan Francisco Menendez. He's 29 years old, and they say in the statement, quote, is an illegally present Guatemalan alien who was detained by ICE Boston in New Bedford, Massachusetts, April 14th, going on to say that during the course of the arrest, he refused to comply with officers' instructions and resisted apprehension. Now, his wife talks about this a little bit, and their attorney elaborated to say that when they were pulled over, they did call the attorney. The attorney had recommended to them that they give the business card, her business card, to the officers and told them to remain silent. But as you can see, it escalated there with them smashing the window. Now, the attorney also says, and his wife says, that he has no criminal record, that while he did cross into the U.S. legally, they were trying to adjust his status, and he appears to qualify for a form of asylum. So that was underway when, of course, this happened and he was detained. Now, I will also note that the Department of Homeland Security often defers to Immigration and Customs Enforcement on how they decide to proceed with any type of encounter and their discretion. We saw this earlier in the year with some of the memos that they put out, particularly when doing enforcement, for example, near churches or schools, essentially putting the onus on the officers to decide whether something is appropriate or not. I will also note that not long ago, we were similarly covering the story of a Salvadoran woman who was in the vehicle with her daughter in Maryland, and her window was also shattered, and she was taken into custody. We've continued to report on what exactly it is that they have held her for, but certainly this is something that we have seen over time now.
And since they insist it was appropriate for them to smash the window and damage the car, I take it ICE is not going to pay to repair the damage.
That would not be something that they would do, no.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's probably several $100s in damage to that window and to that car.
I want to turn to this ICE video of an agent smashing the window of a Guatemalan man who said he was waiting for his lawyer to arrive. That attorney told CNN what she told her client as ICE surrounded the car. Take a listen.
You have my card, you have the red card. which says they choose to exert their right to remain silent. I said, show them that, tell them I'm on my way, and I will explain your situation to them. But you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have your attorney present with you.
Based on the information we know, did ICE act lawfully in this situation?
It's just hard to tell now. And you know, Pam, this is really a Fourth Amendment, it's like search and seizure exam question because of how many very fraught things here. One, ICE agents have a tremendous amount of authority to act and to use the sort of least aggressive force that they can. Now, it's hard to say that they did that here, but remember, this is an individual in an automobile, which, you know, could be a means of fleeing, could be itself a weapon. Both sides have compelling arguments here. Now, that video, based on what we've seen, does not look good for the government. But again, it's just hard to know what transpired before it. But just stepping back, even no matter how this plays out, even if he does recover from the government, if he is unlawfully present in the country, you know, winning from the government doesn't cure that. He might still end up removed.
The wife of Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador per the administration's own admissions in court, is hitting back at the Trump administration. And it follows the administration's latest attempt to portray her husband, who has not been accused of or charged with any crime, as a violent criminal and member of MS-13. An informant did say he was a member of MS-13 in 2019, something Abrego Garcia and his family have denied.
The Department of Homeland Security yesterday posted a 2021 civil protective order Jennifer Vasquez Sura filed against her husband to X, prompting this response. In a statement to CNN, she says, and I'm quoting now, "After surviving domestic violence in a previous relationship, I acted out of caution after a disagreement with Kilmar by seeking a civil protective order in case things escalated. Things did not escalate, and I decided not to follow through with the civil court process. We were able to work through this situation privately as a family, including by going to counseling. Our marriage only grew stronger in the years that followed. No one is perfect, and no marriage is perfect." That is not a justification for ICE's action of abducting him and deporting him to a country where he was supposed to be protected from deportation. Kilmar has always been a loving partner and father, and I will continue to stand by him and demand justice for him, close quote. That statement, by the way, coming on the same day Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador in a direct appeal to the government there for Abrego Garcia's release. Listen.
I'm asking President Bukele, under his authority as president of El Salvador, to do the right thing and allow Mr. Abrego Garcia to walk out of a prison, a man who's charged with no crime, convicted of no crime, and who was illegally abducted from the United States.
And we are joined now by CNN congressional correspondent Lauren Fox. So, Lauren, Democrats are clearly seizing on this, right? You have Senator Van Hollen going to El Salvador, and he also said that he was denied a meeting with Abrego Garcia. What more do we know?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Van Hollen went down to El Salvador trying to do some of the constituent service work that we know that lawmakers do all of the time. It's not always so high profile, but this is exactly the kind of situation where a U.S. senator or congressman would get involved on behalf of their constituent. So he flies down to El Salvador. He meets with the vice president of the country, but he's unable to access a meeting directly with Abrego Garcia. He says he's asked repeatedly to have a phone call with him or for his family to have a phone call with him. Here's what he said happened when he made that request.
I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT. I asked him if I came back next week, whether I'd be able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said he couldn't promise that either. So I asked him if I could get on the phone, either video phone or just a phone, and talk to Mr. Abrego Garcia. He said maybe if the American embassy were to ask, maybe that could happen.
So obviously not a lot of answers, not a lot of clarity on when they can make contact with Abrego Garcia to check on his health, to check on his well-being, to find out how he's doing. But also this is something that we expect Democrats are going to continue to seize on. Lawmakers are on recess right now, but earlier we saw a letter sent from 2 House Democrats, Robert Garcia as well as Maxwell Frost, who were requesting that there be a CODEL from the Oversight Committee to go down to this maximum security facility and meet with Abrego Garcia, as well as check on the welfare of others who were deported to El Salvador.
All right, Lauren Fox, thank you so much.
CODEL is a congressional delegation.
Yes,
that's right.